My fiancé said. Next year, we'll finally be happy. I replied, I'll be happy alone. Then I canceled everything, moved out on New Year's Day, started over, and I smiled when her happy was crying to her mom. Hey Reddit. Next year, we'll finally be happy. Those words hung in the air between us like a death sentence. I looked at Claire across our apartment that I'd been paying for alone for 8 months, and something inside me just snapped. I'll be happy alone, I said. The color drained from her face. I'm 25. She's 26. We'd been together 4 years, engaged for 1. It was December 30th, and I'd just told my fiancé that I was done waiting for happiness to arrive on some mythical future date. What do you mean? Claire's voice cracked. We're getting married in June. We've already sent save the dates. I picked up my laptop from the coffee table and opened it. I'm canceling everything tonight. Venue, caterer, photographer. All of it. You can't be serious. Watch me. The thing is, I'd been serious for weeks. Maybe months. But it took hearing her say, next year we'll finally be happy, one more time to make me realize I'd been living in a holding pattern, waiting for a woman who was never going to change. Let me back up just a little. Not much. Just enough. Claire and I met in college. She was pre-med, brilliant, driven. I was studying finance. We clicked immediately, late-night study sessions that turned into breakfast dates, weekend road trips, the whole 9 yards. After graduation, we moved in together. That's when things started shifting. She got into medical school. I landed a solid job at an investment firm. Good salary, benefits, the works. She was ecstatic about med school, but the reality hit hard. The workload was crushing. The stress was unbelievable. And somewhere in year 2 of her program, Claire stopped being my partner and became my dependent. I can't work right now, she'd said. Med school is my full-time job. Fair enough. I got it. So I took over the rent. Then groceries. Then her car payment. Then her student loan interest payments because it would really help if we could minimize what I owe later. Next year, she'd say, when I'm doing rotations, I'll have more time. We'll be happy. Next year came. Rotations were somehow worse. More hours. More exhaustion. More of me coming home to find her asleep on the couch. Empty takeout containers on the table that I'd also paid for. Next year, she'd say, when I'm a resident, I'll have an income. We'll be happy. So I proposed. Because I loved her. Because I thought we were building something together. Because she'd been dropping hints about marriage for months, and I wanted to make her happy. The engagement was in January of this year. By March, she'd planned half the wedding without asking my opinion once. By June, I was drowning in vendor deposits I was paying alone. By September, I'd realized she hadn't touched me with any real affection in 3 months. By November, I'd started sleeping on the couch more often than not, because sharing a bed with someone who treated you like a roommate felt worse than sleeping alone. And then came December 30th. We'd been invited to her friend's New Year's Eve party. I'd worked late, came home exhausted, and found Claire on the couch in her pajamas, texting. You're not dressed, I said. I'm not going. We are SVP'd. Bridget's expecting us. Claire didn't look up from her phone. I'm tired. You go if you want. I don't want to go alone to your friend's party. Then don't go. She shrugged. Next year, when things settle down, we'll go to parties together. We'll finally be happy. That phrase. That goddamn phrase I'd been hearing for 3 years. Next year. I dropped my bag on the floor. What exactly is settling down next year, Claire? She finally looked at me, annoyed at the interruption. I'll be a resident. I'll have income. We'll be married. Things will be better. You've been saying that for 3 years. And it's been true. Things have been building toward. Toward what? My voice was rising. I couldn't help it. Toward me paying for everything while you plan a wedding I'm apparently not invited to participate in? Toward me sleeping on the couch in my own apartment? Toward you canceling plans we made because you're tired, which I respect, except you're not too tired to text whoever that is for the last 2 hours. She clutched her phone defensively. It's my study group. At 9 p.m. on December 30th? We're discussing cases. I laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. You know what? I don't even care who you're texting. That's not the point. Then what is the point? The point is that I'm not happy. I haven't been happy in a year. And I'm tired of waiting for some magical future date when you'll suddenly have time for me, energy for me, interest in me. Claire stood up, her face flushing. I'm in medical school. Do you know how hard this is? Do you have any idea the pressure I'm under? I do, actually, because I've supported you through all of it. Financially, emotionally, every other way possible. What I don't know is when you're planning to support me back. That's not fair. No. What's not fair is that I've been a bank account and a landlord to you for 2 years, and you haven't once asked me how I'm doing. When's the last time you asked about my work, my life, anything that doesn't directly involve you? She opened her mouth, closed it, couldn't answer. That's what I thought, I said quietly. So when you say next year we'll finally be happy, what you mean is next year you'll finally be happy. Because you'll have your residency, your income, your career on track. But me? I'll still be the guy funding your dreams while mine collect dust. I never asked you to pay for everything. No, you just stopped contributing and assumed I'd cover it. Which I did. Because I loved you. Past tense. The room went dead silent. Past tense. Claire whispered. I'll be happy alone, I repeated. Starting now. That's when I opened my laptop and started making calls. The venue was first. They were closed, so I left a voicemail requesting cancellation and asking about deposit refund policies. Then I emailed. Then I moved to the caterer. Same thing. Photographer, email. Band, email. Florist, email. Claire watched in horror. Stop. Stop it right now. No. You're being crazy. You're having some kind of breakdown. Actually, I'm having a breakthrough. I'm realizing I don't have to live like this. I don't have to wait for next year, or the year after that, or the year after that for my fiancé to give a damn about me. She started crying. I do care about you. When? Between studying and sleeping and texting your study group? Show me when, Claire. Show me one time in the last 6 months you've prioritized me over literally anything else. She couldn't. The tears came harder. After everything, you're just going to throw us away? I'm not throwing us away. There is no us. There's you and your career and your plans. And there's me, the supporting character in your story. I'm done with that role. Where are you even going to go? My friend Trevor has a spare room. I already texted him earlier this week. He said I could move in whenever. Her eyes widened. You've been planning this? I've been thinking about it since Thanksgiving. When you canceled our trip to see my parents because you had to study, then I found out you went shopping with your mom that same weekend. She had the decency to look ashamed. I needed a break. So did I? From this relationship. I started packing that night. Just the essentials. Clothes, toiletries, laptop, important documents. Claire followed me around the apartment, alternating between crying and yelling. You can't do this before New Year's. Watch me. What am I supposed to tell people? Tell them the truth. Tell them you took me for granted until I was gone. I hate you. You'll get over it. Probably by next year, when you'll finally be happy. She slapped me. Hard. Across the face. I stood there, cheeks stinging, and picked up my duffel bag. I'm leaving the apartment to you. Lease is in both our names, but I'll email the landlord and get myself removed. I'll pay January's rent since it's already almost due, but after that, it's on you. I can't afford this place alone. Then get a roommate, or move somewhere cheaper, or ask your study group friend to help you out. Her face went pale. There's nothing going on with. I literally don't care anymore, Claire. That's what you're not getting. I've moved past caring. I'm just done. I walked out at 11 p.m. on December 30th, drove to Trevor's place. He opened the door, took one look at my face, and said, "Beer's in the fridge." Trevor and I had been friends since high school. He worked in tech, made good money, lived in a nice 2-bedroom he'd been rattling around in alone since his last roommate moved out in October. "You did the right thing," he said, handing me a beer. "Doesn't feel right." It will. We stayed up until after midnight. not really celebrating New Year's, just existing in that weird space between one chapter ending and another beginning. My phone blew up at midnight. Claire calling. Claire's mom calling. Claire's sister calling. Her best friend Bridget calling. I turned it off. New Year's Day, I went back to the apartment while Claire was at her mom's. I texted her that I was coming to get more of my stuff, and she'd replied with a string of angry messages telling me to stay away. I went anyway. It was my apartment too, legally, until I got my name off the lease. I packed systematically. Books. Kitchen stuff that was mine. Wedding gifts we gotten early that were specifically for me or for my family. The TV I'd bought. My desk. I rented a U-Haul and made 3 trips, Trevor helping me load and unload. On the last trip, I left my key on the counter with a note. Final rent paid. Get my name off the lease by February 1st or I'll escalate with the landlord. Good luck with everything. Clean. Done. Final. The next week was a blur of emails and phone calls. The venue was surprisingly understanding. They refunded 70% of the deposit since we were still 6 months out. The caterer refunded half. The photographer refused to refund anything, but honestly, I was fine eating that cost for my freedom. The band refunded in full since they'd had another booking request for the same date. All told, I was out about $4,000. For $1,000 for the privilege of not marrying someone who saw me as an ATM with a pulse. Worth it. Claire's mom called me on January 3rd. I answered, which was maybe a mistake. How dare you? She started immediately. How dare you humiliate my daughter like this? Mrs. Peterson, with respect, I didn't humiliate anyone. I ended a relationship that wasn't working. 2 weeks before New Year's? You couldn't wait until after the holidays. I waited 4 years. That was long enough. Claire is devastated. She's been crying nonstop. She can't eat. She can't sleep. Something cold settled in my chest. Not guilt. More like vindication. I'm sorry she's hurting. I really am. But I was hurting for a year, and she didn't notice. She's in medical school. Do you have any idea the pressure? Everyone keeps asking me that. Yeah, I know the pressure. I paid for her to be under that pressure. I supported her through that pressure. What I don't know is when I was supposed to stop being a person with needs and become a walking wallet. You're being selfish. Maybe. Or maybe I'm being self-preserving. Either way, it's done. I'm not coming back. She wants to talk to you. I don't want to talk to her. You owe her that much. I don't owe her anything anymore. Goodbye, Mrs. Peterson. I hung up. Blocked her number. Blocked Claire's number. Blocked her sister's number. Blocked Bridget's number. I kept Claire's dad's number unblocked because he'd always been decent to me, but he never called. Work started back up on January 3rd. I threw myself into it. Picked up extra projects. Volunteered for the complex analysis that everyone else avoided. My boss noticed. You doing okay? He asked during a one-on-one in mid-January. Better than okay. What? You've been here until 7 every night this week. That's not like you. Trying to make senior analyst by the end of the year. He studied me. This wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that you're not wearing your engagement ring anymore. I looked down at my bare hand. Good observation. You want to talk about it? Not particularly, but I appreciate the concern. Just make sure you're taking care of yourself, all right? The work will still be here tomorrow, but I liked the work being here today. I liked having something to focus on that wasn't the hollow feeling in my chest or the anger that bubbled up every time I thought about Claire telling me, next year will finally be happy, while actively making me miserable in the present. Trevor's place became my haven. He worked from home most days, so we'd have lunch together, watch TV at night, play video games I hadn't touched in years because Claire thought they were a waste of time. It was easy, comfortable, no pressure. No resentment. Just 2 friends existing in the same space without it being a constant negotiation. You seem lighter, Trevor said one night in late January. Lighter. Like someone lifted a weight off you. You're smiling more. Joking around. I haven't seen you like this in years. He was right. I felt lighter. Like I'd been holding my breath for so long I'd forgotten what it felt like to exhale. In early February, I got an email from Claire. She'd gotten a mutual friend to send it because I'd blocked her everywhere else. The subject line was, "Please read this." I almost deleted it. Hovered over the trash button for a solid minute. Then I opened it. The email was long. Pages long. It started with an apology. She was sorry for taking me for granted, sorry for not seeing how much I'd been doing, sorry for saying next year so many times it became meaningless. Then it shifted into justification. Med school really was as hard as everyone said. She really had been under immense pressure. She really hadn't meant to push me away. Then came the begging. She missed me. She loved me. She wanted to work on things. She'd make time for couples counseling. She'd be better. We could postpone the wedding instead of canceling it. Just please give her another chance. I read it twice. Felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. No temptation to reply. I deleted it. That same week, I signed a new lease on a one-bedroom apartment closer to work. Trevor had been great, but I needed my own space. Somewhere that was just mine, with no ghosts of relationships past haunting the furniture. Moving day was February 15th. Valentine's Day had passed without incident, which felt like a victory in itself. My new place was smaller than the apartment I'd shared with Claire, but it was mine. Every piece of furniture I chose, every dish in the cabinet I bought, every decision I made without having to consider someone else's opinion. It felt incredible. Claire found out somehow, probably through the mutual friend network we'd shared. She showed up at my new apartment on February 20th. I was home, unpacking the last of my books, when the doorbell rang. I opened the door, and there she was. She looked terrible. Thinner, dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back in a messy ponytail. "How did you find me?" I asked. I asked around. "Can I come in?" "No. Please. I just want to talk." "We don't have anything to talk about. We were together for 4 years. We were going to get married. That has to mean something." It meant something. Past tense. Now it's over. Tears started rolling down her face. "I've changed. I've been working on myself. I started therapy. I've been thinking about everything you said, and you were right. I took you for granted. I made everything about me. I'm sorry. I accept your apology. Now please leave. Just give me a chance to show you I'm different. Claire, even if you're different, I'm different too. I don't want what we had. I don't even want an improved version of what we had. I want something completely new, with someone who doesn't need a breakup to realize I'm worth caring about. That's not fair. Life's not fair. You taught me that. Now if you'll excuse me, I have unpacking to finish." I closed the door. She stood outside for 10 minutes, crying and occasionally knocking. I didn't answer. Eventually, she left. That night, Trevor called me. "Dude, Claire's friend Bridget just posted a whole thing on social media about how you're a heartless asshole who abandoned his fiancée during the hardest time of her life." Sounds about right. You okay? Yeah. Let them talk. Anyone who knows the actual story knows the truth. Anyone who doesn't know the story doesn't matter. That's a healthy attitude. I'm trying, but it's done a little. Not because I thought I'd done something wrong, but because it's never fun to be painted as the villain. My phone started getting friend requests from people I barely knew, clearly trying to get the gossip firsthand. I ignored them all. Then something unexpected happened. One of Claire's med school classmates, a guy named Devin who I'd met a handful of times at study group gatherings, reached out to me on LinkedIn. "Hey man, I heard about the breakup. Just wanted to say I get it. Claire's been telling everyone you abandoned her, but I've watched how she treats people. You made the right call." I messaged back. "Thanks. That means more than you know. For what it's worth, there's a reason her study group keeps changing members. She's exhausting to work with. Everything's a crisis. Everything's about her." The last guy who left the group said she'd been texting him at all hours asking for help with stuff she should have figured out herself. Was she texting him the night of December 30th? Probably. She was texting everyone that night. Said she was panicking about an upcoming exam. So not even an affair. Just more of the same. Claire in crisis mode, demanding everyone else's energy to manage her stress while giving nothing back. I felt vindicated. And then I felt sad that I needed vindication, that I'd been gaslit so thoroughly I doubted my own reality. March came. Spring was arriving. I started going to the gym, something I'd stopped doing when Claire and I lived together because she'd complained that I was gone too much. I started cooking actual meals instead of surviving on takeout. I reconnected with friends I'd drifted away from. One of those friends was Meredith. We'd been close in college, lost touch after graduation, but she'd reached out when she heard about the breakup. I heard through the grapevine. She said when we met for coffee, "You doing okay?" "Better than okay." "Yeah? You look good." "Happy." "I am happy. Turns out I didn't need to wait until next year." She laughed. "What?" So I told her the story. Not the bitter version, just the facts. How I'd been waiting for things to get better for years. How I'd finally realized they never would. How I'd left. "Good for you," she said. "Seriously, that takes guts." We started hanging out more. Just as friends. Coffee dates that turned into dinner dates that turned into movie nights. She was funny, successful, ran her own marketing consulting business, had her own life, her own interests, her own money. Didn't need me to be anything other than myself. I wasn't looking for a relationship. Neither was she. But something was building, slow and easy and uncomplicated. "Is this okay?" I asked her in early April, after she'd kissed me for the first time. "Is what okay?" "This. Us. Whatever this is. Do you want it to be okay?" "Yeah, I really do." She smiled. "Then it's okay. No games. No manipulation. No next year. Just two people enjoying each other's company in the present moment." Meanwhile, through the mutual friend network, I heard Claire was spiraling. She'd failed 2 exams. She was on academic probation. Her mom had apparently staged some kind of intervention about her mental health. I felt bad for her. I really did. But I didn't feel responsible anymore. That was the difference. I could feel compassion for her struggle without making it my job to fix it. In May, 6 months after I'd left, Claire's mom called me from a different number. I answered without checking because I'd been expecting a work call. "She needs you," Mrs. Peterson said immediately. "No, she doesn't. She's falling apart. She might have to take a leave of absence from med school. Her whole future is at risk." "That's terrible. But it's not my problem." "How can you be so cruel? You said you loved her." "I did love her." Past tense. And loving someone doesn't mean setting yourself on fire to keep them warm. Claire has family, friends, therapists, professors. She has a whole support system. She doesn't need me. You were supposed to marry her. I was. Then I realized marrying someone who doesn't respect you is a terrible idea. Now if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting. I hung up. Didn't block the number, just in case she tried to escalate to harassment and I needed documentation. But she didn't call again. June 8th rolled around. The day that was supposed to be my wedding day. I woke up in my apartment, made coffee, went to the gym, came home, and made breakfast. Then I texted Meredith. "Want to do something fun today?" "What's the occasion?" "Nothing. Just a Saturday." We went hiking. Spent the day in the mountains, talking and laughing and existing together without it being complicated. That night, lying in bed, she asked, "Was today supposed to be something?" "How did you know?" "You were extra present today, like you were deliberately being in the moment." "Today was supposed to be my wedding day." She was quiet for a moment. "How do you feel?" "Happy. Genuinely happy. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." "Good," she said and kissed me. Through the grapevine, I heard Claire spent that day crying to her mom. That she'd posted something on social media about what could have been and gotten a lot of sympathetic comments from people who didn't know the full story. That she'd apparently reached out to several of my friends asking if I was seeing anyone. I didn't respond to any of it. Didn't acknowledge it. Just lived my life. By August, 7 months after the breakup, I got promoted at work. Senior analyst. Significant raise. My boss pulled me aside after the announcement. "You've really come into your own this year. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." "Thanks. I'm just focusing on what matters." What mattered was showing up for myself, investing in my own future, building a life I actually wanted instead of waiting for someone else to give me permission to be happy. Meredith and I made it official in September. No drama, no grand gesture, just a conversation over dinner where we both agreed we wanted to be exclusive. It was easy. It was right. It was everything my relationship with Claire had never been. "I'm glad you're here," she said. "Me too." In October, almost a full year after I'd left, I ran into Claire at a coffee shop. It was unavoidable. We both walked in at the same time, saw each other immediately. She looked better, healthier, like she'd been sleeping and eating and taking care of herself. "Hi," she said. "Hi." Awkward silence. "You look good," she said finally. "Thanks. You too. I'm sorry. For everything. I've done a lot of work on myself this year, and I understand now how badly I treated you. You deserved better. Thank you for saying that. Are you seeing anyone?" "I am." "Oh." Something crumpled in her expression. "Are you happy?" "Yeah, I really am." She nodded. "Good. That's good. I'm glad one of us figured it out. You'll figure it out too, Claire. Just maybe not with someone else. With yourself." "Yeah, that's what my therapist keeps saying." We stood there for another moment. Then Meredith walked in, saw me, smiled, walked over and kissed my cheek. "Ready?" "Yeah." "Claire, this is Meredith." "Meredith, this is Claire." They shook hands politely. Claire's eyes were shiny with unshed tears, but she held it together. "It was good to see you," Claire said. "You too. Take care of yourself." "You too." Meredith and I ordered our coffee and left. In the car, she asked, "You okay?" "Yeah." That was closure I didn't know I needed. She seemed sad. She is sad. But that's not my responsibility anymore. "No," Meredith agreed. "It's not. Now it's late December again. Almost a full year since I walked out. I'm in my apartment that I love, in a city I'm building a life in, with a woman who sees me as a partner instead of a resource. Work is good. Finances are good. Mental health is good." Trevor asked me the other day if I had any regrets. About Claire? No, not even a little. Not even the time you invested. Especially not the time I invested. Because it taught me what I don't want. And that's valuable. New Year's Eve is in a few days. Meredith and I are going to that same party that started everything. Bridget's party, the one Claire canceled on last year. Bridget reached out and apologized for the social media post. Said she'd only heard Claire's side and realized later there was more to the story. I'm not holding grudges. Life's too short. I'm just moving forward. When Claire said, "Next year, we'll finally be happy," she meant she'd finally have everything she wanted. Career, marriage, stability. All on her terms. When I replied, "I'll be happy alone," I meant it. And I was right. I am happy. Not next year. Not someday. Right now. And that's worth more than any wedding, any relationship, any future promise could ever be.